Start at the top of your mat so that you've got room to step back for this practice. You'll need a yoga brick. That's not the larger, thinner of the two, but the one that actually looks like a brick. Come into standing and pop the brick between your two shins so that it forces your legs to be inner hip width apart. Now come into a forward fold and bring your heels slightly apart and your toes a little bit further together. You can place your fingertips on the floor if that's more comfortable with you, your knees slightly bent, or you could use a block or a brick to lean your hands on. Spread the toes apart and press the big toe base into the ground. Now draw a line diagonally across your feet to the outer edge of your heel. Gently roll onto the outer edge of that heel and feel the inner arch of your foot lift. Now find your baby toe and press that into the ground. And finally, the inside edge of your heel. So now you've got all four bases of the feet pressed firmly into the ground. Get present, in particular, to the experience of being in your heels. Have the outer and the inner heel weighted exactly the same, with your knees bent and your inside shins pressing very firmly on the block. Push like billy-o into the ground through those strong feet. First pay attention to all 4 points of the foot and then bring your attention to your inner arch and see if you can deliberately lift that for yourself. You might find that as you press down through all 4 corners of your feet and concentrate on lifting your arches at the same time, that you find that your inner shins are pressing harder on the block, and it's actually very hard work. Now very slowly begin to open out at the back of your knees to straighten your legs. Then begin to rock the weight slightly forwards and slightly back. Try slowing the movement down now and even making it smaller, little micro movements, until you arrive at a place of being centered completely in your foot. Then come up using your fingertips on the block or on the floor to a halfway lift. Notice what you feel in your body in this position. Breathing naturally, take a pause. Then take a deep inhale, and on the exhale, fold forward one more time. Feeling the belly coming in towards the spine to give you the room to bring the chest closer towards your thighs. Then in a moment, we're going to come back up into the halfway lift, but we're going to start the movement from your feet. Think about lifting your arches into your knees and lifting your knees into your hips as you take an inhale and come up once more onto the fingertips into a halfway lift. Notice that you didn't have to tell your abdominal muscles to switch on. Just that act of lifting through the arches, the knees and the hips did that all on its very own. Take a deep inhale. Feel the belly coming out a little way and softening. Then on the exhale, as the belly draws in towards the spine, allow your whole body to relax forward. Facial muscles soft, collarbones wide, back of the neck long. Feel that deep and beautiful relaxation in the forward bend. That may be enough for you today, and if so, hang out there for a moment. Otherwise, take yourself through that same somatic experience of drawing up your energy through your arches to the knees, to the hips, and draw yourself up into a halfway fold on your inhale. Exhale, breathing normally, feeling the experience of the trunk muscles holding you there. Take another inhale, belly comes out, exhale and bow forward. In this forward position, try to have an experience of being relaxed and released, opening out through the collarbones, feeling length coming into the back of the neck. And just to make sure it's relaxed and released, begin a gentle movement from side to side with the head. All of us need to practice this side to side movement and say no more, so that we can be saying yes to something more nourishing. Now rise into standing by taking your right arm and placing it on your buttocks. Now your left arm, a squeeze of the elbow and an opening out of the chest as you bend your knees slightly and root your feet deep into the ground, and hinging from the hips, bring yourself into standing. Once you're upright, get present once more to your toes and keep them active, opening out and separating, curling them upwards. Bring ankles, knees and hips into good alignment. Open out through the collarbones and gently balance the centre of your brain right the way over the centre of the heart space, down through the centre of your pelvis, and feel yourself poised and balanced. With eyes closed, gently rotate your shoulders forward, up and back, forward, up and back, and one more time, forward, up and back, settling your arms down by your sides and resting. Take a deep inhale and lift your arms out to the side, then up and overhead. Now notice if your ribs have lifted and flared. Imagine that the force from the arches of your feet are pulling your ribs back down. Take another inhale in that position, then exhale and draw the arms back down in front of you. Take another deep inhale and lift the arms out and up. We're going to come forward again now, but before you do, I want you to think about the positioning of your hips and try not to push them back behind you. Take a deep inhale and send the arms out wide as you bring your body forwards, hands to the earth. Think about the position of your hips and just adjust them probably slightly forwards so that your hips are over your ankles a little bit more. Inhale and take a half lift. Exhale and bring yourself into that strong and deep bow, relaxing and releasing the neck, opening the collarbones wide. You need 2 blocks or a block and a large ball for this exercise. Standing with the first block between your lower legs, take hold of the second block or your ball. Rooting through the arches of your feet, up through your knees and hips. Take a big inhale and draw the block up to shoulder height. Check out whether or not your ribs have flared and lifted as you've lifted the block up. Then take the block up as high as you can. Avoid going up so high with your hands that your shoulders begin to lift, and take them forward just that little bit more so that you can see them. Keeping the ribs down, think about a very slight millimetre lift of your chest, and that will draw your shoulders gently in and down to engage them. Now gently lower the block and pause for a moment, and then take it all the way back up to that point of resistance. Lower the block again a couple of inches and pause, and then bring it back to that place of resistance and pause again. Lower it down and lift it up. Change the position of your hands and make the fingers and thumb into an L shape with the block in between them, so the thumb is running along the bottom line of the block. Now repeat the pattern of lifting the block up to that point of resistance, holding, drawing the block back down and holding again. Lift back up and feel the work that's being done to open out your shoulders here, and lower the block back down and hold. Now bring the block in front of you and have your hands flat on the sides of it at shoulder height. Check that your shoulder blades are still back and down and the chest gently lifting, and that your ribs haven't flared. Take a deep inhale, and on the exhalation, come forward into a halfway fold. Keep the front of your neck long and the back of your neck long, and keep the ribs gently pulled in so that your back is flat and you're not overarching. Hold for a few moments, then take another inhale, belly comes out, and on the exhale, feel the belly coming back towards the spine as you fold into a bow, taking the block with you. Leave the block behind, bend the knees a little bit further, nice and low, then take an inhale and draw the arms up by your side, all the way up to bring yourself into a standing position with slightly bent legs. This is chair pose. Bring your mind into your back body and check that it's as vertical as possible. Then check your ribs and make sure they haven't lifted when your hands did. Push through all four corners of the feet and especially avoid lifting the big toe base off the ground. Take an inhale and sink a little deeper as you exhale, as if you're sliding down a wall. Then inhale and come up a little way. Exhale and slide down the wall again. Inhale, slide up. Exhale, slide down. Ensure that your arms are in the same position as they were when you had the block in between your hands. Take another inhale, lift the arms, and on the exhale this time, come all the way forward into a forward bend.